that is really a problem right now is the internet knows everything. I don't care if it happens in Washington, D.C., or it happens in Paris. Within minutes, everybody knows everything, right? And so what happens is, in our market, say for instance, we get a painting, and we buy it at auction. A portrait by Winslow Homer, right? Winslow Homer is a household name in the United States. Within minutes, that painting, if it brought $100,000, $200,000, is on the internet and everybody knows. So that we go to the, say we want that painting, we take it to a show in New York, we hang it, and people say, within a minute, all I have to do is put in Winslow Homer portrait, and they'll know exactly to the penny what I paid for it. And they're willing to give us 10% profit. 30%? Nah. 50%, forget it. And so we have to make 30% in order to be in the market. That is one of the things that is actually hurting the dealers, the painting dealers, everybody in the whole marketplace, because everybody knows everything. It's starting with paintings because it's easy to track a painting. But a chest like that is so singularly spectacular, it wouldn't take long for somebody to figure out what we paid for. Okay, with the buyer's premium, about $70,000. It would have cost us $55,000 to 25%. And everybody knows, everybody would know what we paid for it, and nobody's allowed to, you're not allowed to say, even though we think it's worth, we offered 100.
Yeah.
We think it's worth 125. That's what we were going to market if we got it. And, but people don't want to pay that profit. They think, well, you only got it for 65. Why would you market 125?
And I think that's part of it. And I think, as we were talking about before, the auction house cultivating that retail buyer thing. Anyone that's interested in this chest as a retail buyer can go bid at it at auction themselves. They, you know, so we're competing against them. So they already had a chance at it. So they could have bought it if they wanted to buy it, or they didn't want to pay that much for it. If we paid that much for it and then asked a little more, well, they already passed at it once at a lesser price. And when you're getting into a market of $100,000 for a chest of drawers, it's a small community of people.
The air is thin.
The air is thin, and they're very passionate, like we're passionate, and they're studying auction catalogs, and they're looking at all the auctions, so they're generally aware of, especially these kind of masterpieces that come up. So that has been difficult for the dealers to compete with that auction setting. And that cultivation of the retail buyers by the auctioneers. What I go back to, though, is when you're dealing with a dealer, you know exactly what you're getting. The auction catalogs, when you go into the back of the auction catalog, try it sometime. There's conditions of sale. There's 2 pages of conditions that the auction house is setting down that you have. We have 0 conditions. We'll sell you something, we describe the condition, the age, the origin, any repairs and restoration. And if you're unhappy with it, we take it back. When the hammer strikes and your number is registered as the buyer, now all of a sudden you're in a contract with all these conditions of sale. So dealing with the dealer, dealing with someone that's knowledgeable beyond the few sentences in the catalog that are probably right, might not be right, you know, it's 2 different worlds. And you're getting assurances, you're getting Parker's 40 plus years of experience and 99 plus years of honesty and integrity.
One of the icons in our antique business was Albert Sack. He was like a surrogate father. I was very lucky that he and my father were like brothers. And he would say, in all his years of dealing, no good collection was ever put together by somebody who didn't have a close relationship with the dealer, and they trusted each other. And they knew each other so well that the dealer knew the taste of the collector, and the collector knew the trustworthiness and the taste of the dealer. And that's really what we try to create here. Yes?
Should we choose, we want to sell something to a dealer, or have a dealer do consign, should we research who the dealer is, what they do? Like you do furniture, you do painting, I do paperless. Should I research what dealer's going to do paperless?
Yes.
To my, like,
Yes, we all have our niches.